I know that sounds crazy, but I was literally bullied in my late 20s because of my music choices. Okay, so I didn't wash my hair today, and I'm just going to throw it into, a ponytail. And I'm gonna use a little bit of a cream to kind of get that situated. All right, so it is Music Month, and I'm already behind because we've had so much stuff going on, and that's for a later video that I'll tell you about. But I do want to chat really quick about my anxiety about Music Month, because I don't love talking about music, although I do have several videos planned for you guys, but music's not really my favorite thing to talk about. And before I tell you that, I will tell you how privileged I've been. What does that have to do with music, Holly? Let me just tell you, like in my youth, like when I was in elementary school and middle school, even in high school, I was really, really privileged because I was never bullied. I never got bullied in school. I was never really, my sister made fun of me, but but I was really never bullied, going for a slick Kim Kardashian look here. I was never bullied at school for the way I looked. I was never bullied in school for, the way I dressed, or what kind of clothes did I have, what kind of shoes did I have or didn't have. I think a lot of people get bullied for not having the latest, greatest backpack or shoes, the trendiest shoes, or, the trendiest jeans. I remember growing up in school, it was like, maybe it was the Guess jeans. I don't know. Okay. See, everybody talks about, but I have a split. I have a split. Well, guess what? I do too, guys. I'm going to get that to pull in. No, I'm not going to get that to pull in. Did that fix it? I can't see. Yeah, I'm still standing backwards. I think it's sad that people get judged and ridiculed over what they do or do not have, but that's just a fact of life. I can't change that. What's my point? So I made it all the way through high school, middle school, all that stuff without being bullied. Until I got into my late 20s and I was bullied. I know that sounds crazy, but I was literally bullied in my late 20s because of my music choices. or my music opinion or my music preferences. And I guess I didn't think it was a thing. Like, you don't really imagine that you're going to be bullied over what kind of music you do or don't like. Let me get my camera situated. We're ready. Hey, smart mouthy. So that's the reason I don't like talking about music, is because the previous trauma of being bullied about a music preference kind of teaches you to not divulge information. If you've ever been feeling like you can't talk about something, then it kind of takes the joy out of talking about that subject. And I remember, listen, we didn't have a lot of music growing up. There wasn't always music on in the house. I think Nora shared with you that on Sunday her dad would play classical music in the morning, and it would be joyful, and had a really good memory of her youth. But we didn't really grow up with a lot of music in the house. I think Heather and I enjoyed just the regular radio stations. It kind of just, pop music, I don't know, popular music. It was like DJX, and we listened to Top 40, or we would listen to a radio station called LRS, and they would play a little heavier or alternative music. And it's fine, but we didn't have a lot of exposure of different or alternative music. We would ride the school bus, and you had 50 kids on the school bus, maybe not 50. You'd have a lot of kids on the school bus, and so the school bus driver just would play whatever the popular music was. And I was in the dance team at school, and you danced to a certain music, and so that usually was popular or hip hop music or something with a lot of good beat to it to dance to. So that was my exposure. And we didn't have a lot of music on in the house. Of course, there's not music on at school, so we were just kind of exposed to music on the school bus, again, which is limited. You can't really make a choice. You're on the school bus with everybody else, and there's not a choice. And we didn't really have like Walkmans or anything, like that wasn't a thing. Or iPods, nothing was available to like bring music with you the way it is today. Like, you see all of the kids have earbuds in and listening to something. We just didn't have that. We would walk to the school bus in silence. There was no music available to take with you, no portable music. So I didn't really have a chance to dive into my own personal music tastes until I finished high school, because you're just doing what you needed to do. And for me to be on the dance teams and different things like that, different performance teams, again, that music isn't my choice, it's what we were performing. And I didn't really know what I liked, what was my music taste, until after high school. And so, trying to figure out where I fit and what was pleasing with me, with my music. I love to sing. I'm not saying I can sing, but I love to sing. So naturally, or I guess I shouldn't assume that you would understand this, but because I love to sing, I would gravitate towards female artists. Something that I could put in the car and sing to. So naturally that kind of dictates, female artists. So I do kind of lean on that to be able to sing in the car, because it was, fun for me. And that was kind of it. Like, I did date a few guys who were in some local bands who were more of kind of the punk rock scene. And, for me as a dancer, you don't dance to punk rock. I mean, you do. If you're at a concert, of course, you're like jumping around, you feeling that energy in the music, but it wasn't an expressive dance for me. And so I didn't really gravitate towards his music, this guy that I was dating. I didn't really gravitate toward his music. And I remember when I graduated hair school and finally got into the salon atmosphere, I was bombarded with music. And I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that because before I went to hair school, I was working a customer service job. I did some training for cellular and communication company, and we just didn't have music on. It wasn't, the atmosphere wasn't music oriented the way the beauty business or the beauty industry or salon business is. And so coming into a thriving salon when I first left beauty school, the conversation was always music. And I was so confused. It was such a weird experience for me to be kind of thrown into this atmosphere that was really just based on music conversation. Several of the stylists, the owner, prided herself on exploring new music. And I love that. Like, she really exposed me to a lot of different types of music. But what it also exposed me to was the judgment. And I guess I didn't know. I thought it was so cool that I was like exposed now to this alternative. Several people in the salon really gravitated toward new, undiscovered music. Not top 40, nothing that we listened to. It was almost banned. Top 40 music or popular music was banned from the salon because it was too common. And they wanted massive diversity in their music choices. And while that was such a privilege, I didn't have a place in that conversation. I remember early on kind of exposing myself and my music listening choices. I would be responded to, I would receive a look. And I'm like, oh God, that wasn't the right answer. That wasn't the right answer. That wasn't the right answer. Oh my God. Like, I just said what I listened to in the car on the way here to work because I like to sing. I got received a face back of, oh my God, like disgust. Like, why could you ever listen to that? And those faces turned into, over a longer period of time, comments and bashing about my music choices. And instead of opposing that or defending my music choice, it just really wasn't that important for me. I wasn't going to win. There were so many people in that hair salon atmosphere that enjoyed alternative music that I had no footing. I had no ground. I had no place to speak up. I was outnumbered. And so I just kind of gave up. After my first divorce, I started online dating. And I was hit with this same type of judgment. It was very interesting when people start a conversation to try to get to know someone. Guess what the first question that they ask? It's almost kind of the secondary pickup line. A secondary pickup line, whether you're in a bar or at a party or online. People always ask me, well, what kind of music do you listen to? And that is so judging. They're about to put you in a category. They're about to judge you. And when I say judge you, that's not judgy. That's not like this derogatory. It's just the word of what they're about to do. They're judging your response to see if they are compatible with you. They're judging your response, and they're going to plug you into a category. And music is one of the largest categories of judgment placing that I think there ever is. Maybe food, maybe a food judgment category. But really here, at least in the United States, the second question that a friend is about to ask you at an event, at a party, or a potential dating partner, the second question they ask you is, what music do you listen to? And it drives me crazy, because no matter what I say, no matter how compatible we may be, if I say the wrong word, then it's done. It's done. People have very strong emotional responses to music. I've seen verbal and physical fights over music, and it's odd. I find it so peculiar. It's just weird. If one person says country and the other person likes hip hop, they're never going to be friends. They're never going to date. They're never going to run in the same circle. It is such an emotional disdain for this music and this music, and I find it odd. It's bizarre to me. If you say, I like punk rock, I like classical, done. I like techno, I like heavy metal, done. Those people can't be friends. And it's only because of their music judgment. It just really confuses me. And I've been on that receiving end of being outcasted in a group of people because I let my music choice out. I remember several years in to working at this salon, I really wanted to go to a concert. I'm not a concert person. Listen, I'm an introvert. I am not a concert person. But it was an acoustic set. This singer-songwriter, a female who I enjoyed singing along with in the car, was coming locally to a small venue. It was kind of a more intimate venue. She was going to play kind of an acoustic set, and I had been listening to several of her CDs for years, and I just really enjoyed her. And so I had mentioned that I was going to buy tickets, and I was laughed at and made fun of for days. They wouldn't let it go. They couldn't believe that I was going to spend money to go to this concert. So I shut up about it. I bought my damn ticket and I went. And funnily enough, I was also dating and living with one of the people who worked at that salon. So he knew that the night before I got dressed, I drove myself down there alone to see this artist. And so when we got to the salon the next day, he must have mentioned this to one of the girls at the hair salon. And the girl was like, "Why didn't you tell me? I would have gone with you. Are you kidding me? After you ridiculed me for wanting to go." She's like, "Well, I wouldn't have let you go by yourself." Girl, there ain't nothing wrong. I don't want to go with you. I don't want to go with you. Why would I go with you? I had a great time by myself because I didn't have to see her face, judging me, judging her, judging everyone, and not enjoying her. So why would I take someone who didn't want to go? And I remember that was such a strong moment that from then on, I could not and would not talk about music. There was a picnic table outside of this hair salon that we would all kind of take a break between clients and, or have a, afternoon soda or a cup of coffee to keep going, And because when the conversation turned to music, I would just get up. I literally had to get up. I could not participate. I could not feel, because music is so intimate. It speaks to that inner emotion of you, and it's just for you. I think music is so personal. It speaks something inside, and when somebody bashes music, it's bashing the whole umbrella of your emotional upbringing. So I just didn't want to allow that. So I've always protected my inner emotions. I keep music very, very close, where I never want to expose what I do and do not like. Music is very personal for me. If I listen to it, I listen to it alone. I'll get my iPhone, put my earbuds in, maybe do some my makeup, or I might clean around the house. I don't like put it through the speakers of the house, because I'm so aware that my music isn't what pleases my husband, you know. And while he's got a very, very eclectic taste in music, and he's always, you know, perfectly fine. He has never said anything to me wrong with what my music choices are. They're still just very personal. They're still just very private. Even recently. So the Salon thing happened, you know, 20 years ago, 18 years ago. Even recently, within the past year, I've seen arguments over music. I watched someone say, "Oh, I love so-and-so." Someone's like, "Really?" And that caused a fight. You just judged that person's intimate choice. There was an hour verbal fight because one person simply liked an artist and the other person judged them, and it got ugly. It just is so strange. Music is so strange. It causes so much ridicule. I just cannot participate in those kind of conversations. I don't want to. I don't want to say I don't listen to what you listen to. Why would I ever insult somebody? It's so personal. It is so intimate and so private. If you want to listen to whatever, the weirdest music ever, I love that. Good for you. I hope it brings you joy. But I think I'm the only one in the world, absolutely the world, that can say that. I hope it brings you joy. Nobody's ever said that to me. If I expose what I like to listen to, I am constantly judged. It's your face. It's a verbal. It is so strange. And I never do that back to anyone. So being bullied for music choices teaches you how ugly judgment of music is. And so in this month of music, I am not exposing my music choices, but I will share a little bit about some stuff that brings me joy in regards to music, in a generic way, but I don't discuss my music. Even like you all saw me talk with Valerie. If you asked Valerie right now, if we call her and say, "What kind of music does Holly like?" she's gonna be like, "I have no idea. I have no idea." It's the funniest thing. You know, even my sister, she'll definitely know a few of CDs that I may have, because I might put them on my Amazon wish list, and you know, her and her boyfriend may gift me a CD for Christmas or birthday or whatever. That's a very, very small amount of information. 1 or 2 CDs doesn't give the whole painting of the picture of my music choices. I own very few CDs, and very, very limited with my music choices, and I keep it personal. So thanks for listening to my rant and TED Talk about, about the world's music. Oh, I don't like talking. This is going to be my worst month ever. It's going to be my worst month. Nora's like loving this, and I'm like, oh, I don't like this at all. It makes me feel so uncomfortable. Okay, I'm gonna get through it, and hope you're gonna enjoy Music Month for what it is. Okay, see you later, bye.